Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is Ship Updates, though this week it should probably be like ground vehicle updates, but there is a bit of a ship update, and we'll get to that in a minute. And at the end-ish of the video, we'll of course be dealing with the Squadron 42 update, which, you know, if you're thinking it's going to be a salty thing, it isn't. But let's get on to the main story. The Rock, you know, the mining buggy. You know, oh my God, is he going to skewer it? No, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good idea. It makes sense, you know, having a few mining buggies running around. If you happen to have just a ship that can carry a lot of vehicles versus a dedicated mining ship, if you don't want to stick yourself in a dedicated mining platform like a mole, but you still want to have some of those capabilities, especially on a planet, this is a great middle ground for people who kind of want to mine, but they don't want to go to get a mole or an Orion or a prospector. This is a good idea. There is nothing wrong with this. And in fact, looking at the implementation of it, I mean, there's a couple of little things that I would change, but overall, I mean, from a strictly functional perspective, it makes sense. It makes total sense. And it actually delivers on something in a way that I kind of suspected was true for a long time, but it kind of just lends credence to one of my longer held beliefs, is that tractor beams were a lot easier to do than CIG has kind of let on. Now, one of the big problems that they found when they were when they were developing this, and it did make me laugh when they were talking about it, is they were talking about when you're out there and you're mining the minerals, their original thought was that then you go down on the ground and pick them up. And I was just like, I was just laughing and thinking, whoever suggested that first, I would have just been like, you know, like the hand would have just automatically been cocking back as if to smack him across the face. Like, what are you thinking? You know, like, you want to use all this, then you go out and by hand, piecemeal, just pick up all these little pieces of rock. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? But they did eventually, they kind of skipped over the Elite Dangerous idea of just kind of opening up a little cargo bay and you just drive over it, because they said it was too gamey, which I tend to agree is a very good thing. And they went with the tractor beam approach instead. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And when you see the tractor beam functioning, you see that, oh my God, they've got it and it works. And this is supposed to be something that is going to be in 310, though. 310 is something of, you know, we don't know with 310, right? We're all going to be surprised together. This is a great thing. But, you know, I kind of want to come back to the tractor beam thing. I want to talk about this a little bit. Because for the longest time, players who have owned, especially ships that specifically mention tractor beams, ships like the Cutlass, ships like the Caterpillar, I don't know anybody like that myself, but, you know, those people out there who may own those ships have long awaited the implementation of a tractor beam. You know, when we're out there and we're kind of blowing things up in the persistent universe, there used to be a point where they would drop cargo into space. And we would lament the fact that we didn't have a tractor beam to kind of pick up all these crates and just kind of dump them somewhere, even if it just kind of picked them all up into a ball and held that ball, and then you had to navigate it around in 3D. You know, we were fine with that and just kind of plump it all down and into a cargo bay or something. We were okay with that. I'm sorry, I just about had a little hiccup there. But the fact that this thing that is like, oh yeah, we'll get around to it. As soon as they had a vehicle that needed it, it was developed immediately. That's kind of disappointing, because, you know, I recently made a joke on what was it, on the Inforunners Discord. Someone referred to me as Minion, not the pirate anymore, but Minion the smuggler, and I was like, true, no piracy to be had in the persistent universe. It's something as simple as a tractor beam and ships dropping cargo when they explode would totally resolve that issue. I mean, smuggling is okay, but I would rather get my goods by blowing up ships and then stealing their cargo, whether it be, you know, the Nine Tails or, you know, Crusader Security or whoever. That's kind of like the gameplay that we're looking for. And to see like a major component of that gameplay so easily implemented for a mining ship when it was felt that it was needed, rather than being implemented for the ships that already have that component, that haven't been able to use it for years, was something that made me a little bit salty and a little bit unhappy about this. But, that is simply my point of view. You may not share it. As for the rock itself, it's solid. It fits into a lot of ships. Even they demonstrate, the one ship that you would probably be most worried about, which is the Freelancer, with that funny little turret hang down piece at the rear of the cargo. I believe hang down piece is the technical term for it. But the fact that it can get past that and get into it, I mean, you can look at it and say, maybe a Cutlass, maybe not, but I'm sure that someone's going to make a video where they cram it into a Cutlass successfully. But for people who want to do a little bit of mining, and on much more of a serious scale than that little hand mining tool, this is perfect. If you don't want to go so far as to buy a Prospect or buy a Mole or buy an Orion, this is a solid. There's nothing to be made fun of in this ship whatsoever, or vehicle whatsoever. Not in the looks, not in anything. The only thing that I would have suggested, honestly, is to pocket this and deliver it along with the long-awaited, vehicle within a vehicle spawn capability. I think if you could have matched those two up, it couldn't have been more perfect. I would have kind of held this one back and then released it with that, if it is, going to arrive as quickly as we hope it will. That's what I would have aimed for. But apart from that, ideal. Now, other people kind of want me to talk about the Talon. And my honest feelings about this, the Talon, the Asperia, Tavaran, presumably derived light fighter. It's an alien fighter. It's light. I'm assuming $250 to $300 is going to be the price tag. I think that overall, where we're going to end up, whether it's flight ready or not, is, let's just say it's flight ready at this point. It's going to be decidedly OP. It's going to be really, really strong, as most, new ships, especially with a significant price tag, tend to be. Prowler, I'm looking at you. Chances are, what's going to happen is, it's going to be decidedly OP when it arrives in the universe, or there's going to be something so incredibly strong about it. People are going to be like, oh, I gotta have it. I'll pay the alien tax. I don't care. But it will be tamed ultimately, and it will fit in decently with many of the other light fighters, and it will become something of a prestige ship. That's probably where it's going to end up. Maybe going to have some unique functionality. We'll have to wait and see. Now, finally, Squadron 42 news update. CIG has put a post on Spectrum explaining why there isn't a video for the Squadron 42 update. And, they outline a lot of reasons. Oh, this person was sick a person was sick. Oh, the audio quality wasn't up to snuff. The footage was too scrappy. The footage, it wasn't great. We didn't get the right source images. Everything didn't come together the way that we wanted it to. We didn't want to intrude too much on production. The roadmap doesn't accurately reflect the state of the game. It's just like, of course, we know that. The funny thing is we know all of these things. And we even know what the update is going to be. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. We all know what they're going to try to tell us. You already know. I know. Everybody knows. Kotaku's going to come out with an article a month from now saying, oh my God, and Star Citizen is going to miss Q3 2020. And the entire Star Citizen community, or not Star Citizen, Squadron 42 is going to miss Q3 2020. And the entire Star Citizen / Squadron 42 community is going to sit there and be like, tell us something we don't know. Big shocker. Wow. Zippity, who cares? We already know. You're like this, basically this post is saying that, we need a little more time. And they're like, what they're doing is they're basically just staring at their feet and they're searching for a way to kind of try to explain the fact that they're not going to hit Q3 2020. How do we do it? What can we show them that's gonna, that's gonna soften the blow, and it's gonna kind of keep them, hashtag Team Star Citizen, or what was it? Hashtag I'm a Star Citizen. And what's gonna keep them on board, and blah 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 blah. What can we do to reinfuse that love in the community? We can't even do a Citizen Con this year. We can only do a video presentation. How do we sell it? How do we shape it? How do we get it out there? And the truth of it is, you're worrying about how you're going to frame the message. The message was received loud and clear months ago. We already know. We already know. There's no need to tell us other than to simply confirm what we already know. It's like if you tell me, hey, if you go outside, the sky is blue. It's like, yeah, I kind of already gathered that. I've been on this planet long enough to know that generally during the day, that's the case. It's like I've been around Star Citizen development for how long now? You're telling me like, I don't know how to tell you this, but we've experienced a delay. It's like, yeah, we know. We've been there many, 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 many times before. And the reason why we're still here is because we believe in the idea of what Squadron or Star Citizen or both is going to be. And that's why we're still here. Think about it. Why are people still watching my videos? I mean, my videos aren't exactly the best quality or anything like that, but there are people still here that will watch these videos all the time. Why? Because they care about Star Citizen. They want to talk about Star Citizen. They want to hear ideas about Star Citizen. That's why we're here. It's not like you go like, oh no, Squadron 42 delayed, and all of a sudden every single one of us is going to throw our hands up in the air and say, oh well, time to go get a refund and file a court case or do whatever, No. We're here because we care about the game and the idea of what the game is supposed to be. You're telling us like, oh no, we've hit another delay. It's just like, of course you did. We know you. You're the guy who's always late to the party. You're the guy who always shows up, with a story about, I tripped on a curb and then this thing happened and that thing. We know, dude. We know. But we still invite you to the party anyways. So, just look. Show us what you got. Give us some video footage. And then just get back to it. Alright?
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.